hasn't been a while this time. I made 2 videos this week. Pretty crazy. I wanted to jump on here and talk about this thing. Anybody that's ever watched my channel, you know I'm a big Fuji fan. Loved my Fuji X100 series. I've actually had all of them other than the most recent one. I bought an X100 years and years ago as a little secondary camera because I was like, this looks nice, feels nice, and I just grabbed one. And then when I had the X100, X100S, same thought, where I was just like, it's a secondary thing, fun little camera, great. And then when I got to the third one, that's when like more people started getting them. Not saying I started any sort of trend by any means, but I'm just saying I was always a fan of them. And then the F is what really like, you know, set the whole camera off. I shot my X100F for like 2 years and I really pushed it. Like I was shooting live concerts, dark, like I would go to like a professional shoot with just that to see if it could handle it. I was shooting motion, I was shooting sports, I was shooting everything with it. I really liked that it forced me to get close, but it was such a comfortable focal length for me because I grew up shooting film, and that's what drew me to the X100 in the first place, was just the look and the feel of it. And I loved my X100F, and most of my favorite photos that I've taken in the last couple of years are actually all on that camera. And I'm gonna put some examples as I'm talking about it. But if you've looked at my channel at all, or if you're here because of those, then you already know that I'm a big fan of that. And then I got the X100V last year, and I love that camera too. I shot that a bunch for the time that I had it. I didn't have it for very long, but I really like that camera. And then I was faced with video gear that came up that I needed to jump on a little bit. And so I actually sold that camera to fund some video equipment for some work stuff. So I got rid of it, and I felt okay at the time. I was just like, you know what, it's the right move, because it was personally the right move. I had some responsibilities video wise, and I was just like, this will just make it easier to just go buy the thing I need. So I did sell the 100V. I didn't gouge anybody on it. I think it's ridiculous what people are asking for them. I sold it at a fair price within an hour because I was the only normal priced one. And it went to a fantastic photographer. Really happy about that it's getting used. But I missed my little camera. I was like, well, I kind of miss having a little guy that I can like throw around my neck and I can bring out, and it was so consistent and so good. I missed some of the film simulations because I stopped shooting film because of how expensive it's getting and how difficult it is to find good places that will do your film for you, and you know, like I was getting some developed and machines are breaking down, and then the parts to fix them don't exist anymore because it's kind of an older system. It was just a little bit of a pain. It's not that environmentally friendly either to go through rolls of film all the time, so that was why the Fuji was just my number one, and I really liked having it, shooting it. I shot it so much. Probably put more on that, the F, than I've ever put on a camera, which is saying a lot. And then when I got rid of my V and I started to miss that feeling, I looked into the GR3, just like everybody else does. They compare these two all the time. The size of this is amazing. This literally fits in my pocket. The Fuji never did. I always had a hood and stuff on it, but even without it, well, maybe in certain pants or something I could get it in the back pocket or something, but this genuinely is so small and is so compact. We've all seen this camera, we all like this camera, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I like it. I gotta be honest. I know you're probably mad. I know you're probably, I don't know. I've shot this thing for a couple months and I genuinely don't know if I have one photo that I like off of it. I don't know what it is, and I think it's driving me crazy because I've gone through it over and over and over. First of all, I don't like the menu. Maybe I was just used to something else. I don't like how you have to like do things on it. I just don't like it. Didn't get used to it. I just don't enjoy it. The photos are fine, but to me they're just so boring, and I don't know what it is. When I shot the Fuji, there was so much dynamic and so much depth, and it was so wildly consistent that almost every shot I took intentionally would turn out how I wanted it to and how I'd picture it to. But with this thing, it just doesn't really seem to do that. This to me, when I feel bad saying it because I see a lot of people work with this thing really, really well. I'm not saying that it's a bad camera and that it takes bad pictures. It's just not for me, and it doesn't fit into how I shoot at all. So when I shoot on this, I feel like I'm shooting like a 20-year-old point and shoot, and I don't know why, and I can't really put my finger on it. But if I have examples that I'm comfortable showing you, then I'll have them up here. But there's just something about it I'm just not crazy about. And I understand it's nowhere near the same price or the same like difficulty to get as the Fujis. I understand that completely. So I'll get to that in a second, but I'm just saying for me, I'm probably gonna go back to Fuji because this just did not do it for me. And I'm not really the type of guy to carry around like my Sony a7 IV that I'm filming on right now as a camera. I don't do that. I usually use this just for video. But I really miss having a camera that I like love and loved shooting, and the Fuji really did that for me every time I had one. And for the years that I shot the X100 series, that itch was always scratched and I was always satisfied with it. And I've tried and tried and tried with this thing, and I've tried to push this a little bit and it just never does it. Like I'll try to shoot, you know, like some behind the scenes stuff or like with my friends in bands, and I'll bring this on tour and I just don't like it. And I think that maybe if I shot differently or if I shot a lot of black and white, maybe this would like find its place. And I really, really wish that I found a place for this because it just is so tiny and so easy to bring everywhere that it's a shame because these are better priced. Obviously, they're not well priced because they are still kind of expensive too, but they're just easier to get your hands on than a Fuji. So now I'm back on the hunt for a Fuji because now they're just ridiculous, unfortunately. And if you are one of those people that doesn't want a camera, but you will go through anything you can to order a Fuji just to resell it for an extra $100, I'm not a fan of you. I think that they're for people that want to use them, not for people that want to make money off of them. But I think I've decided it's over. I'm going back to Fuji. It's not a regret. I'm glad I tried it. It's just not for me. And shout out to everybody that makes this camera work because I see incredible stuff come off with this camera. It's just not me doing it. It's just not me feeling good about it. And yeah, there's a couple other things, like minor things, like the battery's not good at all. Expectantly so because it's so small. But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. It sucks. I really, really wanted to love this camera the way that I see people love it, and I really wish that I found the rhythm with this thing, and I just have not. So unfortunately, this will go, and I will be on the hunt for either a X100V or an X100VI, whatever they call it, or even an F. Honestly, the F was a great camera, but as a little travel camera, you can't go wrong. And what I wanted to say about this is it's not bad for everybody. So what I was saying is this is so much more reasonably priced and so much easier to get your hands on. And it does have those same focus, those same filmy vibes that you want. Not quite as good, but you're paying like 3 times the amount almost. Like, well, twice, but some people try to charge you 3 times the amount for a Fuji. So don't fall into that if you don't need it. But I shoot almost for a living. It's like a good majority of my income is photography. So it makes sense for me to invest into a camera that I love that much, and I really, really do. But if all you want is like a cute accessory camera to like take pictures of your friends or whatever, this is probably great. It honestly probably is. But when I want to push a camera to its limits and I want to find out what it can do and I want to do stuff on it that it's like uncomfortable doing, but then it still produces good content from it, Fuji's always done that for me, and I've done some weird stuff with that camera that always turned out. I went to like a jam space to shoot a band recently, and it wasn't even that dark, and this couldn't take one photo. So it's just not for me. It might be right for you, and I'm not talking poorly about it. I think it's a fantastic looking camera. It's a fantastic feeling camera in your hand. I got this little thumb grip that really helped. I got this cool little strap that's like almost like a mini version of a Peak. So it's like snaps in, snaps out, and then it just like hangs. Like you can either put it here on your side or something, and it's easy to grab. Great. I just don't like the image quality coming out of it, and it's just not fitting into my lifestyle of shooting. So say goodbye to this. Hopefully I can find a Fuji soon, because I would like to have a replacement for this one. And yeah, sorry to say for any Ricoh GR3 lovers, but for all the Fuji lovers that came to this channel in the first place, we're back. Guess we're just going right back to Fuji, even though I didn't want to do that, but that's the way she goes. So anyway, thanks for watching this one. Sorry to say goodbye.